God's unique plan for world renewal. Third lesson. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv and his divine tasks. When almost all the souls have descended from the soul world to this world, then, just a little before the end period, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv, comes to this world and enters the bodies of the hero and heroine actor souls of this stage-like world. There will definitely be some souls who play that part. Certainly, there are good and bad actors. So, there will be some who play the most elevated part on this stage-like world. The English people call them Adam and Eve. The Muslims call them Aadam and Havva, and it is said among the Hindus, tvamaadidevah purushah puraanah. Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhaanam. That is, you are the first deity, the first man, and the supreme support of this world. Chapter 11, shloka 38. They are the beginning of the world. No one has mentioned anything about their origin, since when are Aadishakti, the first female deity, and Adidev, the first male deity existing? Who are the ones to give birth to them? No one knows this at all. The hero actor is called Adidev in the Hindu tradition, Aadam among the Muslims, Adam among the Christians, and Adinath among the Jains. Just look, there is so much similarity in the words. At first, there was just one religion in the world and unity prevailed there. Such unity can be established. The real feeling of the entire world is a family, that is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, can arise only when the entire world accepts just one couple as their parents. So, that Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, Shiv Baba, comes and uplifts the souls who play the part of the hero and heroine, that is, Ram and Krishna, on this stage-like world. They aren't in the form of Ram and Krishna in the last birth of the cycle of their 84 births, because the kingdom of Krishna, or Narayan, complete with 16 celestial degrees, was in the golden age, that is Satyug, and the kingdom of Ram was in the silver age, Treta. Those very souls degrade while passing through the cycle of birth and death and exist somewhere in the form of human beings like us. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv enters those human beings. Just like a word is mentioned in the Gita. Praveshtum, Chapter 11, Shloka 54, which means, I am capable of entering. Who? That Supreme Soul Shiv, who is beyond the cycle of birth and death, enters and first plays the part of the mother through Krishna alias Dada Lekhraj. In our Indian tradition, he is named Brahma with 4 faces. Brahm means senior and Ma means mother. It is the mother who tolerates the most in the world. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul also first plays the part of the mother through a physical body in practice when he comes in this world. For this reason, songs are sung in his praise in our Indian tradition. Tvamev mata cha pita tvamev. You alone are the mother and the father. He gives so much love that the demons become habituated to receiving boons from him. The mother's nature is such that she would never want to move her child away from her lap, no matter if he is a leper, one-eyed, hunchbacked, thief, robber, or a depraved child. The father will say to the child, just get out. But the mother will not move her child away from her lap. In the same way, Brahma's corporeal part is played first on this stage-like world. The Vani which the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv narrates after entering Brahma is named Murli. Why was it named Murli? All of us know that a flute, that is, Murli, is shown in Krishna's hands. So, we considered it to be a flute made of bamboo, but it is a symbolic, figurative and metaphorical language of the poets that they have written in the Bhagavad and Mahabharata, Hindu scriptures. Its real meaning is that, in the end of the Iron Age, when the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul comes to this world, the love that he gives, the sweet Vani that he narrates first of all through the mouth of Brahma, meaning, through the soul of Krishna with a childlike intellect. People like it so much that when it is narrated and when they listen to it to know what it is, They don't find any other tune in the world sweeter and melodious to that extent. That is why it was named Murli, that is the sweet Gita. Gita, or the most elevated book, which is the topmost book of Bharat, that Bhagavad Gita, the crown jewel among all the scriptures, is called Murli. So, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul comes and narrates this knowledge, that is the sweet tune of flute through the body of Brahma, the wooden flute. In this way, through the form of the mother, he gives birth to the Brahmins. It is written in the scriptures that Brahmins emerged from the mouth of Brahma. So, we think that there must be some kind of magic in the mouth of Brahma so that when he opened his mouth, Brahmins came out of it. But nothing like that happens. It is this very old Iron Age world, and the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul comes in this very old world, enters the body of Brahma, and narrates the basic knowledge which can be understood by the human beings with a childlike intellect. After listening to that knowledge, those who better their life, reform it, it is they who acquire the sanskars of Brahmins. In this way, the Brahmins who are born through the mouth of Brahma are called Brahma Kumars or Brahma Kumaris, meaning Brahmins or Brahmanis. This is about the beginning of the new world, which is repeating now again after 5,000 years. This task practically began in Mount Abu. Shiv comes in a secret form. Just like it is said in the Gita, ignorant people like Dada Lekhraj Brahma aren't able to recognize me, the incorporeal Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, who has come in an ordinary body. The form of Brahma that was shown to you here, that personality existed in practice. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv had enabled the establishment of Brahmins of higher and low categories through Brahma in Mount Abu. His real name was Dada Lekhraj. He was a resident of Sindh, Hyderabad, a Sindhi Brahmin through whom this task was accomplished. Now, numerous Brahma Kumari ashrams have opened in India and abroad. It is certainly not in the power of an ordinary soul to make such a great establishment within 70 to 80 years. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv himself gives the name Brahma to Krishna's soul alias Dada Lekhraj, and when he establishes the Brahmin religion through him, numerous Brahma Kumars and Kumaris become ready. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul sees that two types of Brahmins are born among the Brahmin children themselves. There were Brahmins like Ravan, Kumbkaran and Meghnad, that is, villainous characters in the epic Ramayana, and those like Guru Vashisht, Vishwamitra, that is, two of the great sages mentioned in the Hindu mythology, had also adopted Brahminhood in their life. The Brahmins like Guru Vashisht and Vishwamitra are few, and the number of Brahmins like Ravan, Kumbkaran, Meghnad is greater. The same thing happened in the Brahma Kumari ashram as well. Many wicked Brahmins emerged from among the Kukwanshavli children of Brahma. Kukwanshavli meaning progeny born on the lap, meaning the physical affection. They were born by enjoying Brahma's lap, and very few souls with an ascetic and austere nature, who took more pleasure in the knowledge and yoga narrated through the mouth of Brahma, remained. So, what is the result? The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul has to leave that body. The soul of Krishna, meaning the soul of Brahma with four faces, has to leave the physical body and take on a subtle body. After that, in 1969, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv enters the powerful soul of Ram for 50 years in a completely secret way. It is because the loving part of the mother is of Shiv and the strict part of the father is also his alone. There is a saying, ghee can't be taken out without bending the finger. You cannot obtain obedience without being strict. Well, the soul of Ram will certainly be present somewhere in this world, won't he? So, Shiv himself enters that personality, who is already a Brahmakumar since 50 years, and starts his task through him. Within a short time after this task began, a division is clearly visible. From 1976, after the year of revelation of the Father Ram in the Brahma Kumari institution. It is just like two sects were formed in every religion. For example, Islam and Muslim, two sects, that is the Hinayan and the Mahayan, were formed among the Buddhists, the Shwetambar and the Digambar among the Jains, the Shia and the Sunni among the Muslims, and the Roman Catholics and the Protestants were formed among the Christians. All these religions have just followed the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. Now, even when the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul came and established the new ancient deity religion, the same process took place. A little while after Brahma left his body, two types of people, that is BKs and PBKs, become clearly visible in that Brahma Kumari ashram. So they clash with each other. The number of the intellectuals decreases and they separate. So, the struggle will certainly increase. In every religion, this struggle increases gradually and finally it reaches its peak level. The big, old, conservative and obsolete class of the gurus seated on the throne doesn't recognize the truth because they are already in the elation of having gaddi in the society. Gaddi literally means seat. Here it means position. They are still occupying their position in Mount Abu. They possess authority. They don't even listen to the truth. You will see that all the murlis or the vanis narrated through Brahma at Mount Abu are actually in accordance with the scriptures in its own right. However, even today, the Brahma Kumaris are saying that all the scriptures are false and whatever our Baba has said, that alone is true. But what is the meaning of whatever Baba has said? They are not aware of it at all, and they are not even ready to listen to it and narrate it. This situation has been arising in every religion in the history made by human beings. Accordingly, the soul of Ram, who after coming in the cycle of birth and death is in an ordinary human body at the end of the Iron Age, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv enters him and is gradually revealed in the world with the name and form of Shankar. Shankar's part is strict. Through his strict part, he divides the Brahmin community into the true Mukhwanshavli Brahmins and the false Kukhwanshavli Brahmins of lower categories. Mukhwanshavli are those who just follow the Murli, narrated through the mouth of Brahma. They don't follow the words of any bodily being. And Kukhwanshavli are those who give special importance to the love of the lap of Brahma. They don't give importance to the Murli narrated through the mouth. A few chosen and elevated souls emerge in the Suryavanshi category. That is, those belonging to the Sun dynasty. You must have seen that rosaries are shown on the head and around the arms of Shankar. There are many types of rosaries around his neck too. A rosary is a sign of a gathering. Those souls in the form of beads are threaded in 1. The thread of love, and 2. The thread of knowledge. Their gathering is formed. That gathering in the form of rosary is accepted in all the religions in the entire world. In what form? You will see that the Muslims rotate the rosary as well as the Christians rotate the rosary. The Buddhists rotate the rosary and the Sikhs rotate the rosary too. What is the importance of this rosary that it is rotated in every religion? Nobody knows this. Baba said in the Murli, "Children, these non-living beads of the rosary are the remembrance of you, the dilapidated souls who have become tamsi, that is, degraded, in the Iron Age. When the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul comes, he gathers you, the elevated souls, in the form of beads from all the religions, and the rosary-like gathering of the elevated souls that is formed brings about excitement or thrill in the entire world at the time of great destruction. At first, the excitement begins within the world of the Brahma's children in the land of Bharat. There are 108 beads in the gathering of the rosary. You will see that there are 9 main religions that are spread in the world today. The Hindu religion is an ancient religion. There are 2 groups in it. One group consists of those belonging to the ancient deity religion, the ones who never convert to other religions, and the other group consists of those who are called Hindus, the ones who have always been converting. When the Muslims came, they converted to the Muslim religion. When the Christians came, they converted to the Christian religion, and when the Sikhs came, they converted to the Sikh religion. It means that two groups were formed in the ancient deity religion. One group consists of few partially extinct non-converted ones, meaning the ones who never converted. No matter what kind of an examination came before them, they didn't leave their religion. And the other group consisted of those who repeatedly converted from one religion to another, from the second one to a third one, and from the third one to a fourth one. 2500 years ago, the Islam religion came. Then, the fourth religion, the Buddhist religion, which spread in China, Japan, Myanmar, and Malaysia came. The fifth religion that came is the Christian religion, which is spread in the European countries and America. The sixth religion is the Sannyas religion established by Shankaracharya. It started with people who wore red, yellow, black or white clothes. After that, Muhammad came, who divided the Islam religion, forbade the worship of idols and spread the Muslim religion. Then, Guru Nanak came, and in order to confront the Muslims, he converted the healthy and sturdy people with a dull intellect belonging to the ancient deity religion of India into Sikhs. They continued to give a tough fight against the Muslims and Christians. Finally, the Arya Samaj comes in the end. It is such a religion which invites everyone. All of you converted Hindus, come and gather in the land of Bharat. Someone may belong to any religion, we will make him Hindu. The real Hindus never accepted the Vidharmi. The Arya Samajis gathered in our country the rubbish from all religions. Atheism is such a religion that it doesn't receive a place in the rosary at all. They don't find a place in the one higher than the other rosaries of 16,108, 108 or 8 elevated souls that are created by God. They are the atheists, that is Russians. They neither believe in paradise nor hell. They neither believe in the soul nor the supreme soul. They don't believe in anything. They become intoxicated of their science and prepare the atomic energy to show that they alone are everything. If they wish, they will make the world dance to their tune, otherwise they will destroy it. But they are entangled in their own trap. Today, Russia has split up into different states and America has gathered more atomic power than it. In this way, there are 9 main theist religions of the world, one greater than the other. The Supreme Father Supreme Soul gathers 12 main selected souls from each of these 9 main religions, that is 9 times 12 equals 108. In the sinful ironage, the vicious human gurus born from the urine of lust have kept the title of Sri Sri 108 Jagat Guru for themselves, the title of the most elevated gathering in the form of rosary created by Supreme God the Father, the World Father. 80 years ago, there weren't so many gods in the land of Bharat. Acharya Rajneesh is a god, Jai Gurudev is a god, Sai Baba is a god, Satpalji Maharaj is a god, Chandra Swamiji is a god too. These numerous gods weren't at all present 80 years ago. These numerous gods have been born just within these 80 years. Well, will there be one god, or will there be numerous gods? Certainly, there will be one God. But what is the process? When the real Sadguru leaves the supreme abode and descends to this world, numerous fake diamonds become ready in the world market to compete with him. Those fake diamonds spread their pomp and show, that is advertisement, everywhere. A big building of Mahesh Yogi was to be constructed at Jabalpur. Jabalpur is a city in central India. A building worth millions and billions of rupees was to be constructed. What was going to happen in it? Just the same Swaha. Swaha is a Sanskrit word uttered while making offerings in the auspicious fire. Well, nothing happens through it. These offerings have been made for the past 2500 years. Will any transformation of the world take place through it? No transformation will take place. One thing that they say is true: it purifies the atmosphere. But instead of the atmosphere becoming pure, the world is being spoiled all the more. A brother said, he smuggles gold from America. All right, let him do anything. One thing that was mentioned was, there are many gods, but they are like fake diamonds and we are unable to recognize the real one from among them. Certainly, there is a real one too, but we are unable to know him. And the proof of the arrival of God is that when He comes, He will have the materials for destruction of the old world prepared along with the establishment of the new world. Along with the establishment of the true religion, that is Sat Dharma. The unlimited Supreme Father Himself has the numerous false religions, which are spread all over the world, destroyed as well. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, Gita chapter 4, Shlok 8. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, meaning I incarnate for the destruction of the wicked ones. This shlok of the Gita says it. When the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul comes to this world, He has these preparations made first. He establishes the new world in secret and has the task of destruction done through the Yadavs, the residents of Europe. Yadavs are descendants of Yadu. Russians and Americans have been called the Yadavs in the Mahabharata in our Indian tradition. They were very wealthy, they drank a lot of alcohol and lived in very high buildings. What did that group of Yadavs do? They were certainly Yaduvanshi, under the control of God Krishna. But what did they do? The missiles in the form of pestles that emerged from their stomach-like intellect. They fought with each other with those iron pestles, that is missiles, and killed their entire clan and even destroyed the whole world in the Fourth World War. People considered them to be a physical pestle. Well, this is the confusion in understanding the meaning. Actually, it is about the missiles. Just like the stomach digests something, in the same way, this is the stomach-like intellect. People say, your stomach can't digest anything, don't they? So, is it about this physical stomach or is it the stomach-like intellect? Those missiles emerged from the stomach-like intellect. The entire world is destroyed through those iron missiles. Within 80 to 82 years, this energy became ready in abundance, as well as the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul incarnated in this world, and from that very time in the entire land of Bharat, at the time of Mahatma Gandhi, the gathered voice that was spread above all was, O purifier of the impure, Sitaram, come. 400 million people of India were calling out God, saying, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patit Pavan Sita Ram, that is praises in the name of Lord Ram, under the supervision of Gandhiji. But those who were calling out didn't realize that the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul had already arrived in this world at that time. This means that when the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul comes, then on one side he has the materials for destruction prepared through the personality of Shankar, and on the other side, through the gathered four faces of Brahma, he also has the task of establishment performed in secret through the children of Brahma at first. So, both these tasks are being accomplished at this time. The task of establishment is completed and the atomic energy also becomes ready. The first explosion took place in Hiroshima, Nagasaki. It is then that on one side there is a great destruction of the world, and on the other side, the rosary of the elevated souls becomes ready, that gradually takes the control of the religious power and the political power of the whole world in its hands. You must have heard some predictions of astrologers that are published very often. The predictions made by the astrologers like Kiro, Keith, Nostradamus and so on, who existed 400 to 500 years ago, have been published. Everyone made the year 2000 the main topic. However, The topic concerning the year 2000 wasn't related to the destruction of the whole world. Actually, it concerns only the destruction of the world of root souls in the form of the roots of the world tree and the seed form souls just within the world of Brahma's children. Nobody knows this. If this world is destroyed so quickly, in a snap of the finger, then who will recognize the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul? Just like the other religious fathers, the time of 100 years is certainly required to recognize the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, isn't it? Actually, the period after the year 2000 will bring about complete transformation in the Brahma Kumari's ashram through pomp. There will be some transformation in the outside world as well as there will be some atomic explosions, but they won't be to such an extent that the entire world is destroyed. Now, just the old world of Brahmins is destroyed, the new world is established, and all the atom-like souls go back to the supreme abode through the connection of their intellect at first. It means that the special souls within the Brahmin world understand this topic, who the corporeal form of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul is, what his working period is, and how this task is going on. Here, it has been shown that just as we souls are points of light, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul is also a point of light, that is Jyotirbindu. The bigger form of that very point of light is made as the Shivling, which is famous in our Indian tradition as the 12th Jyotirlingam. Shivling is an oblong stone worshipped all over India as the form of Shiva in the path of bhakti, and Jyotirlingam is phallic-shaped idols worshipped as a symbol of Shiva. These 12 Jyotirlingams are installed at Ujjain, Kashi, Rameshwaram, Kedarnath, Badrinath, etc. Why are there only 12 Jyotirlingam? Why not 13? Why not 11 or 10? There are 9 groups consisting of 12 selected souls each from the 9 religions. There are elevated souls in every religion, aren't there? So, when the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul comes, he first of all selects 12 elevated souls from every theist religion and then makes them into firm Suryavanshi Brahmins. In today's world, no one is a Brahmin in reality. What are you saying? You are disregarding the Brahmins. No. 400 to 500 years ago, Tulsi Das wrote about this in the Ramayana, Bhay Varna Sankar Sabhay, meaning everyone has become the one with mixed blood. No one is a Brahmin or a Shudra anymore. Shudra means member of the fourth and the lowest division of the Indo-Aryan society. He wrote this 400 years ago, and now the situation has become even worse. Now, adultery has spread a lot. Adultery has spread in every house. So, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul has come and is establishing the true Brahmin clan through Prajapita Brahma at this time. You must have heard that 9 groups of Brahmins are famous, the Shandilya Gotra, Bharadwaj Gotra, Kashyap Gotra and so on. Based on the 9 sages, 9 groups are famous. Those 9 sages are none other than the 9 elevated souls representing the 9 religions whom the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul selects from this world and brings into the Brahman religion. Among the 9 souls, one soul will be the most elevated, won't it? The one soul who is the most elevated, his group of 12 souls attains such similarity with the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv, that their stage becomes incorporeal to a greater or a lesser extent, just like that of Shiv. This is why, even today, in the land of Bharat, the 12 Jyotirlingam are worshipped as the form of God. This means that the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv is also a point of light. The sages and great sages have made a bigger form of him to worship him. It is a symbol of the incorporeal stage. Incorporeal means that the form of Shankar, one soul among the 12 souls, who is called Rudra Avatar, that is the fearsome incarnation of Shiv, remains in such an incorporeal stage as if he doesn't have his cloth-like body at all. To remain in such a stage at different levels, To always consider yourself in the soul conscious stage, to see others in the form of a soul, to become firm in such practice, this will be called the incorporeal stage. It is a stage where the indriya, meaning parts of the body used to perform actions, and the sense organs, are not present even on being present. Just like it is said, not to see despite seeing something, not to listen despite hearing something. No matter how much defamation spreads in the world, he is not affected by it.